Hello and welcome to the Feralthinkers podcast on streaming television with the cord cut. This is podcast number 1, the collector's edition, in which I get to tell you what this podcast is all about and how it will work. This will be a short daily podcast about television. I prefer streaming my programming and I watch nothing through cable in the traditional sense. Though I have always watched movies, I rejected television for decades, but lately ABC, CBS, and NBC, the content providers of old, have been superseded by HBO, FX, and AMC. These channels began as the passive presenters of movies and shows of other studios, but HBO's original production of The Sopranos during an 8-year span from 1999 to 2007 reinvented television into something cinematic and unfettered by stodgy and condescending corporate censorship. For the first time in decades, if not the first time ever, television became worth watching. In all fairness, ABC, CBS, and NBC have been forced to scramble to come close, if not match, the doings at HBO. Consequently, in the competitive environment, they have improved their programming. I'm watching Aquarius from NBC now. So I will give you a heads up when new seasons of great shows are coming around, and I'll tell you which back episodes to watch every night so that you'll be ready to make the transition from last season to the new season with a single graceful step. I'm also going to talk a little bit about what we're watching. I'll put anything you might consider a spoiler toward the end of the podcast so you can bow out if you're not ready to hear something. I won't be talking so much about what's happening in a show as sharing critical insights about patterns, symbols, connotations, and all that good stuff that makes everything so interesting. This is the Feralthinkers podcast on streaming television with the cord cut for the 2nd of July, 2016. I'm working my way through the first 2 seasons of FX's Tyrant on Hulu in preparation for the premiere of Season 3 on FX on the 6th of July. Now that's next week, next Wednesday, so that's coming right up. Tonight I'm watching episode 2.9, that means Season 2, episode 9 in Feral speak. After tonight there will be just 3 more episodes in Season 2 to watch before the Season 3 premiere. Fans of FX's The Americans will remember Nina, the Russian girl who perhaps cared a little too much for people and too little for politics. After charming the good, the bad, and the ugly of Washington, D.C., she was sent back to a Soviet prison where her final efforts to redeem herself in the eyes of her superior went awry, and she faced a summary judgment in a hallway that doubled as a courtroom, and the judge's decision left her dead on the hallway floor. Seeing Nina's sudden end made for a terribly sad night. The good news is that the actor who played Nina, Annette Malhindru, will enter Tyrant in episode 2 of the new season as Nafisa Al-Qadi, the wife of a character known only by his surname, Al-Qadi, whom we'll meet this Wednesday. Al-Qadi is played by the Egyptian actor Khalid Abou Naga, whom the Cairo Press refers to as Egypt's Brad Pitt. Naga, when he isn't acting, spends time supporting all sorts of good causes. I don't know what role the family Al-Qadi will play in the complex plot of Tyrant, but together Malhindru and Naga make a gorgeous couple, and I hope they're positioned where we can see them often. Judging from the few photos that I've seen, they look too well dressed to be taking part in the insurgency down in Ma'an, so I'm betting they'll be spending time with the Al-Faids in the royal palace. Although I prefer my binging light, you could catch up with me this weekend with a heavy go of 10 episodes on Saturday, which gets you through episode 1.10, and 10 episodes on Sunday, which gets you through 2.10. At that point, you have caught up with me, and you can watch at a more leisurely pace. Episode 2.11 on Monday, and episode 2.12 on Tuesday, and that leaves you poised for 3.1 on Wednesday, along with everybody else. It's an ambitious plan, and if anybody tries to do it, please let me know how it goes. That's it for today's podcast. You can follow this program through my blog at dmasonwest.com and a number of other places which, quite frankly, I haven't yet figured out because this is my first effort. Thanks for listening, and I'll be back tomorrow. I'm shooting for a release time of 4 p.m. Central U.S. time or 2100 hours GMT. See you then.